Can you hear me?
What up? What up? Yeah, I don't think I'm on the headphones, but it's all right. Let me just take these off. It's weird.
Yeah, technology sometimes, man. Thank you for joining us, everybody. This is episode 112 of the Carry and the Culture Show. Excited about this one. I love cats that do it because they love to do it. Spitters. We got Oxnard, California's. He reps it hard too. I feel like I live there the way he reps it so hard. So Oxnard, California. Yep. See. West
We
Coast,
here.
indie, spitter, swell guy, Mic Bles. Thank you very much for joining us, man. I'm really pumped to chop it up with you.
No, thanks for having me, dog. You already know.
Yeah. So I'm excited, man, to do this because for me, I know, like you will go back to the Rap FM days. That's when you did the 60 Seconds of Flame.
That's right. That's right.
So, but I don't know shit about you. I don't know anything. So that's why it's like fun for me. I get to do some digging and everything like that. So it's gonna be a good one for me. So real quick before we get started, everybody, if you got questions for Mike, use the questions featured below. Don't get wild in here or you get sent home either. And salute to everybody joining in. These are always fun, and we're gonna get it going, man. So like I said, I don't know shit. I know where you're from. I just know that you're dope. I don't honestly. I don't know your history, none of that shit. So that's what I want to get into first, man. Like just kind of like I want to start back there, like early beginnings, man. Like take us home, man. Like as far as you growing up and just getting into this whole shit. I heard first disclaimer. I heard about you in it was 2017. I think you did the 60 seconds. That's when I first found out.
Right.
So.
I think that's when it really started popping off too. Like we started making a lot of noise in 2017. You know what I'm saying? The Razzcast joint was popping at that time. But if we're going all the way back, I mean, growing up in Oxnard, it was just me. I have originally my two older brothers and my mom. So we were just raised with my mom in, I would consider the projects, but at the time, just in the apartments, you know what I'm saying? And my first probably like, just being in, I don't remember a time where it wasn't hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like my brother and them would be breakdancing and they'd come pick them up to go breakdance in the apartments and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So it was always like a thing, you know, just growing up as far as like what the kids were doing in the neighborhood, and we were just running around, you know, causing shit, you know what I'm saying? Just fucking around and getting into shit we weren't supposed to and shit like that, you know what I mean? But
Of course.
and then you know what I mean? And then other than that, like you start to when I started rapping, you know what it was? Matter of fact, my boy Sci-Fi, which he's now working with me again, doing music, which is dope because now it's coming like full circle. Because for a while there, you know, certain homies aren't really into the game anymore or ain't really doing anything. So, but how it first started as far as rapping was concerned, well, originally I'm from a graffiti crew, POT JDI, Oxnard, like, you know, one of the OG crews out of Oxnard that was doing graffiti. So I came into it already rapping. And these were our like older dudes that were in the neighborhood at the time. But my boy has a family in New York, and he used to come, they used to send him tapes, like instrumentals and all kinds of crazy shit. And so we'd be at his house, we'd go to the corner store and ask somebody to buy us 40s and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that whole shit. And drink our beers and listen to beats, and he'd be like, yo, you should spit. And we're probably like 13, 14, you know what I mean?
Yo, real
and,
quick, frame it
yeah.
for me as far as like, I'm not sure your age, like what was your era? I mean, I guess growing up, I mean, like when you were like 10, 12, what was it?
It had to be, it was like early 90s,
Okay.
as far as like, yeah, like I was born in the 80s.
Okay.
So
Got you.
early 80s, and then so this is like the 90s.
Okay.
This is like, yeah, probably, I don't know, early 90s,
Mhm.
early 90s.
All right.
And so, so everything that's popping off then, and we started rapping to these tapes that he would bring along, and and that's pretty much how it popped off, you know what I'm saying? As far as like that went from rapping at his room to rapping at house parties to running up on cats and rapping you know, ciphering with dudes and even if we're going all the way, like from that point to like first getting on the radio. So we're now like rapping at every house party, rapping on anyone who would listen, you know what I'm saying? Like we're just thirsty, like just hungry, you know what I'm saying? And we were up at fiestas here in Santa Barbara, and we would just go up to dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like especially at that time in the 805, like if I think it was not so much in LA, but if you were like in the 5 and you were like any kind of hip hop on you, or like your gear, you look like you represent, then we're calling you out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of cats we were when we were rolling around. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, the Loop Pack's already kind of on. The Red Zone's already doing their thing. There's all these OG groups already doing their thing. So we're just like the cats trying to rap at the house parties and just kind of make a name and just going up to dudes. And I remember we were battling this dude in Santa Barbara, like, what's up, man? And you know what I'm saying? And boom, boom. And then next thing you know, he's like, yo, you guys are dope. I'm going on the radio next week. Why don't you guys come with me? We'll do a group. And long story short, that morning he called me. He's like, yo, what's up, Mic Bles, Jess? And that was the beginning. That was probably like 15, maybe 16. And then that became my name going forward. And we became like a little group. But that's kind of how it all came about, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, so take me to, you're always talking 805. Everybody from the 805 talks 805. Like, so I lived in LA for a few years when I was younger. I got family there, so I'm always I go to LA as much as I can. But I know, like, just because it's the West Coast and it's near LA doesn't mean it's LA vibe. So, like, or it does. So how is it different from LA? Like what's Oxnard about, man? Because I don't really know too much about it. I know it's like, I think it's Ventura County, I believe.
Yeah.
But I don't know much. You know, I didn't really get out that way.
Well,
so like, what was the vibe back as far as hip hop wise when you were coming up? Like, what was everybody fucking
yeah,
with?
as far as like, and that's kind of how it was too, because like as far as the 5 is concerned, like we were kind of like we were still a mix, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a little late as far as like it was getting to us a little later. So in other words, like I might be dressed down, FUBU down, but I'm gonna get hit up for wearing red at the fucking liquor store. You know what I'm saying? Like on some shit like, or you know, because we're rapping and we don't sound like gangster rap or you know like cholo rap, then it was a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't. I think because it's a smaller town, it took a while for people to get into like hip hop as it was as a culture as far as Oxnard, because it still has a small town feel. But I feel like to really get your bones in the game, like you had to go to LA. You had to go and represent in LA, and I felt like you have to have a DJ, right? So if you look at the early stuff that was coming out as far as like boom bap hip hop, you know, Loop Pack and their first stuff with Dilated, and listen to that, the early Liquid stuff, you know what I'm saying? And when they were getting on and doing that, and Red Zone Found was signed to Red Ant Records, which was also they had a Killer Army. And so this is like the early stuff that we started seeing, you know what I mean? But in comparison, it was just a small town, but I feel like, you know, it's just obviously something in the water out there, and maybe that has something to do with it too, like always feeling like we had to prove something, you know what I'm saying? So we always want to be nice. We always want to have our DJs repping. We always want to put our flag down, and I feel like that lineage that came before us, that really helped for the cats that was coming after, you know what I'm saying? So I would be like the era below the Loop Pack, and then after me is the guys coming up, you know, now or whatever.
Right,
yeah.
right. So that's interesting that you say that, because I hear that same story about a lot of parts of LA or the LA area as far as like, you know, we weren't doing the Cholo or the G-Funk or whatever it was. So it was like, so what made you go in that direction versus going in the direction where everybody else was? Like, what stuck out for you? Because obviously, I mean, like when I heard you, I wouldn't have pegged you as a West Coast MC when I first heard you. You know what I mean? It's just, if I'm looking at stereotypes, right? But what made you go in that direction versus, you know, as far as like really concentrating lyrics and stuff like that, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Studying that.
I think it had to do with kind of like the story that I told too, of just where the origins were, right? Like, so my boy was bringing down these tapes, right? First of all, so he started listening to that. But don't get me wrong, there's obviously the Tupac and Snoop and these guys,
right? Because that's
but if you really listen,
on a lot too, right?
huh?
I mean, I was being pumped a
Yeah,
lot at that time.
yeah, exactly. And but Snoop had bars too, like low key, you know what I'm saying? And but either way, I feel like that was what kind of started it, as far as like, and then there's early Biggie stuff. But and I lived in the projects, right? But it's not obviously East Coast projects, you know what I'm saying, for that matter. But it's the projects, and I feel like I started just based off of what I heard earlier. I started gravitating towards like Nas, you know, the way he used to talk about the projects and shit like that, and I just felt that kind of like that really resonated with me, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, as it went on, you start to get cats like, well, West Coast artists that I would say were an influence too would have been like the Far Eye, you know what I'm saying? And if you hear his flow and how he was coming with it, you know what I'm saying? And obviously the Pack, but their flow was different. I didn't really take too much as far as from the flow wise. It was more like the style, the beats, and the fucking skits and shit like that was on those records. So I feel like that's kind of what started gravitating me towards that style. I used to rhyme all over, you know, these Nas beats or stuff like that. And as I got older, it would be like Pun, and then Pun's a Latin rapper, you know what I'm saying? So I started to feel like it was possible. Like, oh shit, like there's somebody that has my skin color that's rapping like I rap, you know, per se or whatever, you know what I'm saying? On the early Peanut stuff. But and then I lived in Virginia for a year. So like on top of everything that I was barely developing, I feel like as an artist, I only had like 3 songs when I moved out there. I was 18, but my brother was both my brothers are in military, so I moved to Norfolk, Virginia when I was 18, and I went to school out there too. I went to like one of those continuation like fucking crazy schools. So so that shit fucked me up, bro. Like I was like, fuck. It was different, you know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of culture shock for me, but I feel like because I landed at the time that I did there, it really put me all the way in as far as like the way I was sounding, and then early Mobb Deep records and the shit that I started to hear on the East Coast. You know, well, Virginia's in the middle, I guess, if you're talking East Coast, right?
Yeah, the Virginia, it extends down there. So like, I'm just, what's interesting,
you know what it is.
Sharing this with me, I'm kind of picturing I'm picturing it all happening. I'm picturing where I was, and so I can see it unfold, right?
That was
so
99. That was 99.
Right. So, and your peoples are bringing you music, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting that vibe, and then you go out to Virginia, and at that time, like, there's so many New York transplants in Virginia, particularly in that area that you so
Facts.
That's almost like New York mid South, you know what I mean? Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that Chesapeake Bay area is tons of New York cats.
Exactly. Fucking Bad News. And it was a fucking trip of the shit that I was hearing on the radio there. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't hear any of that stuff at home. And to me, it was just like underground. You know what I mean? They were playing like real underground records on the radio out there.
Right.
So it was fucking me up, you know what I mean? And that kind of helped me develop and slowly from there, you know what I mean, built up. You know, it's crazy.
That's dope. So, is the gang culture like crazy out in Oxnard? Like it is. I mean, is that heavy duty out there?
I don't want to say it's not, because it is, but I think it's one of those things too where you grow up there, so you're kind of like you see it differently a little bit, right? But lately, I will say, like, you know, the youngsters right now aren't really giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever it is, like the Wild West sometimes. And I know not even that long ago, you know, anytime we talk, I could probably tell you something about something that happened, you know what I mean, about someone getting murdered or whatever it is, 21-year-old kid or whatever, man. And it's just fucked up, but it's just it's you know, implanted in that area, man. Like, so many, like, I think we off top, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or at least that are like official, like gangs, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know, at any given time, I probably know people from every neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? From just growing up out there. So, but like I said, you know, you could still get caught up. There's a lot of young cats out here, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the wrong place at the wrong time. I'll still probably throw a cap on, you know what I'm saying, just to avoid the bullshit. You feel me? Especially even the cops, you know what I mean? Especially the cops are going to be profiling, you know what I mean? Like, you're still getting pulled over for bullshit, you know what I mean? So that's why I try to tell cats, like, look, it ain't even about, I was in New York and was talking to O about this. Because, you know, at the time I was in New York, all this stuff was happening about uh the kid got shot at the PNB Rock.
Yeah.
So all that was happening, and Cass was hitting me like, yo, you know, kind of like, what's going on over there? I'm like, look, you know, it really comes down to, you just got to know where the fuck you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you've been out here, so you just know. You know what I mean? You just kind of know. And at any given time, if I'm rolling into town, go to a certain gas station, I'll just throw my cap on. You know what I'm saying? Just like a swerve in and swerve out. You know what I mean? Without having to deal with any kind of shit, or even, it might not even be, or people just gonna be scary. Cats are just scary. You know what I mean? You'll be waiting in a line at somewhere and they're just scary. You're like, yo, why is dudes all scary right now? Like, look, I'm just in here to grab my shit. I'm out. I ain't gonna bother y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of that going on, and I think people will react the other way. But I think, you know how it is, man. A lot of it's just Cali, the way it is out here, man. Like, the gang culture just out here in general, but Oxnard does have that. And it has for years, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's I could yeah no.
Yeah.
It's the So I've talked a lot of times with my friends from the West Coast about like the weird. I call it weird because being from the East Coast, I don't really see it that much. The weird, the fucked up energy between black and brown,
Yeah.
and LA, like, and it's wild to me because
Yeah.
growing up, like when my grandson's Puerto Rican, like it's like it doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, because cops still hate all y'all motherfuckers, hate all of us. So like, is it like that?
Yeah.
Is it like that in Oxnard too?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, like, within the last, you know, I don't know, 15 years, I think it's kind of like chilled out, you know what I mean? But definitely it's a thing, you know, like, I think just inherently, you know, I think it's become a thing. And so unless we can get them off that shit, unless we could just continue to just be real with each other, like, I feel like it slowly dies out. But you know how it's, some of that shit's just inherent in people, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I love going back to the East Coast or going to certain places where, you know, you forget, like, Cass isn't really like that out here, you know what I mean? Or, you know, you have more of a love. Like, people are not really looking at you a certain way, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I think that's just inherent with Southern California, let's say. You know what I'm saying?
That shit is trash, man. It's ultra trash, and
It is, though.
it's
Yeah.
because, like, especially like you're in the hood. The hood is the hood, and that's why it was funny when you said to me, not funny, but like you were like that you know, hearing Nas talking about the projects reminded you, you know, it resonated with you, like, yo, where you were is where you were. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up. Doesn't matter if it's Oxnard or if it's Queensbridge. I mean, you know what I mean? If it's grimy and they get it in, they get it in. You know what I mean? So it's how that, like, you can hear, because those early Nas records are very vivid, right? Storytelling. You feel like you're in the project with it.
Yeah.
You know? So I can see how that, like, fucking hit you like, damn.
And, like, if going to school in Oxnard, like, you know, I feel like even in some of the other towns in the 805, you know, a lot of the brothers or the black families, you all know each other. It's all connected somehow, you know what I'm saying? But there wasn't too many, you know what I mean? But we all kind of knew each other. Or they knew each other, you know what I mean? And I moved to Virginia, and it was predominantly black. You know what I'm saying? And I was at a black school, you know what I'm saying? So I was already feeling like, damn, like, I kind of had more of a resonance, I feel like, with because I had a couple close homies, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, like, you know, now I know how it feels to be the only one, you know, my skin color right now, right? So
Right.
certain shit like that hit me, you know what I mean? It was a culture shock. But like I said, you know, like I'm glad I went through it. I'm glad that those things kind of happened early on. It kind of like molded me, and when I came back, like I was able to move differently, or just like I had a different outlook on shit. You know what I mean?
No,
So yeah.
that's dope. And I always say, man, traveling, moving, it helps, man. It helps you see shit differently. It's, you know, it takes you out your little off your block, right? Like it's
Yeah,
like, you know,
exactly.
yeah, there's some other shit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure we both know people, right, that will not, that have no desire to leave Oxnard, like
Oh
at
yeah.
all. Like I'm here to the death. Fuck
Yeah.
it, I ain't going.
You know what's funny is that we were just talking about that, like that because we're going back and forth to New York and shit, and we're like, yo, why don't we do like a crew trip and get these motherfuckers, some of these cats out that we know probably have no connect out there, but we can get this homie and this homie with us in New York, it will be wild as shit. And
Yeah.
so we want to do something like that to where we can bring, or even to fucking Spain or wherever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Take some of the homies that wouldn't necessarily bounce or not really tripping on it, get them out there, and we could bug out and show them some shit like, yo, let's go over here, let's go fucking function right here, you know what I'm saying? And stir up some shit.
No, that would be dope. No, that would be dope, man. So
You feel me?
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, man. So talk a little bit about your you know, when you started getting serious with this shit, and like, because your bars are tight, they're on point, they're shits, they hit, man, and they're I can tell you put a lot of effort into crafting your shit. So like, just where, when you started getting serious, like how did you hone that? Like were there, you know, legends you were looking up to, and like, oh, you know, some people pattern their shit after people, like how'd you get it to where it's at now? I know you still probably you would need to improve, but like it's
Yeah.
a machine right now. So how'd you get it to where it is now?
You know, it's crazy to like my homie Hustle, shout out to Hustle. I don't know if he's tuned in or what, but shout out to my homie Hustle. He was the first cat, you know what I'm saying? He not to burn him out, but he was the local trap, you know what I'm saying? And so we'd be at his pad all day in and day out, and he had the foresight, the mindset, like, yo, we need to put this shit like on wax per se, right? Like we need to get this shit done. So I even think I still have some of those early tapes where we thought the way to do it was, all right, let's go get a dual tape recorder, right? And you're gonna be boop, and you're gonna put the beat, and you're gonna put the raps, and we're gonna make these tapes and shit. Like that's how we did it. Actually, the first tape recorder we got was because we stole it. Like he sent us on a mission. Like, yo, if you go, there's a Circuit City Radio Shack. There's a Radio Shack outside these apartments, and I already scoped it. It's just plugged into the wall, or yeah, it's plugged in. But if you just grab it, it's by the door, and you could just bounce out. I'll give you $50 for it, but just keep it here, and it'll be for y'all anyways, right? And so we did it. We did a little bump, bump, jump the gate, boom, jump the shit, and we're recording, and we're just making these little fucking like bullshit tapes, right? But that's how it started, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, you know what I mean? I wish we did earlier, because we would probably got we have really no production, no nothing, so we didn't really know what we were doing, but we were trying to do it, and I feel like that's kind of where I started to get better, was because we didn't have the track out, right? How they track it out now. Do the verse or punch. There was no punch-ins. So I even I still have those recordings where I had to just be like on a level for 3 minutes, right? I had to do the verse, the chorus, the verse, the chorus, and he'd be in the back like, oh, like, calm down, because we got to have the fucking last chorus to match. You got to match, right? So songs will start going like this, like towards the end, you're getting hyped, you know what I'm saying? And so that's how we started doing it. So, and then I started doing live shows, right? Like pretty much at the same time, we started rapping at live shows and doing all the house parties we were doing. So all that shit was helping me in the longer run, because I had a lot more show experience than a lot of cats. It was kind of like simultaneous, you know what I'm saying? So we're doing we're doing recordings, we're performing, and I'm freestyling all the time, and so that's kind of like what started to make it, you know, make it work. And plus, like, you know, I gotta rep my shit, right? Because then we're from fucking the Ox, so it's like, okay, so you see cats are doing things that coming up, and so there's almost a bit of a format or a bit of a blueprint, you know what I'm saying? Something that's laid before that you can kind of look at and be like, all right, cool. There wasn't one specific person, but because we didn't really have no free rides, no handouts, no favors, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody was looking out for us. You feel me? And I always have to say that, you know, we didn't have no cosigns in the beginning, none of that shit. And so we really kind of just made our bones on our own, you know what I'm saying? When we went to the first trips to Europe, sleeping in cars and doing all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? But it was just me and the homie, let's get it, we got to go here, boom, boom. And we fucking learned, and we just, you know what I'm saying? So, but I think it all comes down to stealing the motherfucking recorder because we wanted to do something, right? So when you start to look at it, it all, like, now that I'm talking to you about it, like, it makes fucking sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be about that life, you know what I'm saying? You got to be about going to get it. Not so much these days, right? You can kind of do it differently, but hey, nonetheless,
the attitude needs to be there, though.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Attitude, whether you're stealing the shit or not, or whether now, yeah, you can make your shit, but the heart still needs to be there, the drive and desire.
That's true.
So, you know what I mean?
That's true.
So then, who are some of your no top 5 shit, but like, who are some of your MC heroes? I guess, quote unquote, like just where you're like, fuck, man, this person is bananas with it, like every time. Well,
fuck. I mean, to be honest too, like, I and if you start to really listen to the records, you'll kind of see these influences, right? Like, Rakim, you know what I'm saying? Like his delivery, the flow, how he was so like nice with it. He's always just in his tone. He's always in his. Sometimes too much. Like Nas goes, sometimes he's too chill for me. Like I need him to be a little more like fucking, I need to hear a slur sometimes, right? But you got something like Rakim is just really smooth with it. But then KRS-One, and I started doing shows with these cats. Like, well, I did one with Rakim, but I think I did a couple with KRS and even I mean, it's not so much influence wise as far as me rapping, but like I remember. Because I started meeting a lot of my heroes, man, like the Beat Nuts, you know, just for instance, and then what's it called? Oh, fuck, I'm having brain fart. Fucking, you know, Tupac's original fucking crew, the fucking, I'm thinking about Sex Packets,
Digital Underground,
and we did shows with them, and like those dudes and like people like that I started to meet early on that just was like, fuck. But I mean, man, but you know, I think KRS, Rakim, if I had to say anything, those were like big influences. Then obviously came into Nas, but when you start to look at it, like they came before Nas, right? So, and then at least, you know, Tupac, Biggie, the way Biggie would freestyle, you know what I'm saying? He you know, you couldn't hear that shit from Pac. You know, and even when they say it's a freestyle, you never have heard freestyle. There's not too many floating around where he's actually freestyling because it's all get put on wax. But you know, there's Biggie when he was kicking those flows and shit. You're just like, fuck. But yeah, man. So if I had to say anything, it would be that.
Did you like? Have you had a chance to like pick any of their ears when you were like opening or working with them? I mean, these guys.
KRS always dropped gems. You know, when I met Rakim, it's crazy how, like, I only met him once, and it only was, like, fucking less than a minute. You know what I'm saying? But all he had to say was, I had just posted a picture on my Instagram on his birthday, right? So I'm like, oh, let me post this up. And so we gave a dap, gave me a hug. He just like, yo, my G, keep doing what you're doing. And no one's seen what we're talking. We were really close, tight. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need. Like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, from Rakim, you know what I mean? Like, it don't matter what, yeah, exactly. It don't matter what nobody says. Like, that shit, that's all I need. right there. Boom, I could hold that. I could fucking put that away, and we're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
he didn't have to say that. He didn't have to say that. I didn't ask him for anything. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I feel like he just knew. You know what I mean? He just knew he had to drop a gem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
no, and I've seen that with artists, that, you know, my friends of mine or whatever, like my man, you know what I'm saying, got love from Percy P. And it was like, yo,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you ate like Percy P telling you fucking bodied the shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yo, if you're
yeah.
really then that's the shit that should matter, right? I mean, to me. I mean,
Exactly. No, no, you're right. You're right. Exactly right. Like Psycho Les would drop gems. You know, in J. Rue the Damager, dropping gems. J. Rue is just a real. They're all real ones, but I remember being with J. Rue at the merch booth in like Switzerland, and he was peeping us, and we were making loot, man. Like that night, our merch table was popping. It was we couldn't keep up. It was just like bam, bam, and he came over. He's like and you know, he just started dropping gems on us. Just then he started selling our shit for us just to show me like, yo, look, I could sell fucking, you know what I mean? Like I could sell anything, and he is. And if you know J. Rue, then you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you start to see like, oh shit, yeah, like, and you just see the OG-ness in him. You know what I'm saying? The game just in you. You know what I mean? And I remember just laughing with homie, just talking about that shit, and Psycho Les just giving me jewels just about performing, and about how he looks at the game and how he's looking at the performance as far as like just not so much as like what you're doing on stage, but more so how you're feeling before you go on stage, right? Like the music got your back, like little things like that we did like what 15 shows together, something like that. So you know, little gems here and there, like
which
that.
tour was this? 15 shows. The Beat Nuts.
2018, I did the world tour with them for the 25th anniversary. I think they're doing another anniversary now, but I want to say Intoxicated Demons, or if not, the first album.
Right. Well, how'd you get
That's
on?
why I got these ones up here. That's why I got these ones up here. Look
Pete, how'd that come about?
at that. Just reaching out to Les, man. Just being a dog, just being hungry. You know what I mean? And we have been talking, and we made it happen with them and the promoters, because it has to be right. It has to be, you know, because you're going on a world tour. But thank God Psycho Les kind of pulled his strings and kind of like bogarted it in a way for us. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the one that called the shot. He was the one, you know what I mean? He's the one that kind of ultimately pressed go on that. You know what I mean? And so next thing you know, we're in Amsterdam, and I'm like, what's up? And Juju's showing up, and we're getting ready for the day before. And then now we're on, bam, you know what I'm saying? And fucking on it, like everywhere. I had went to Europe a few times already on our own tours, like our own thing. We were putting our shit together. So it was like we finally graduated right there, you know what I mean? Because like I said, we were learning the hard way, you know what I'm saying? Staying at, like, how am I supposed to know what hotel to get in France?
Right.
In fucking board.
Especially not back then.
You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like now, yeah, now you're right. Yeah, it could, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know where to fucking stay in London, you know what I mean? On the budget, you feel me? Like, or in Manchester, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had to cancel rooms a couple times. Like, oh fuck, we're not staying here. Like, you know what I mean? Or not knowing how to exchange the loot. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing the money game, because you want to make money in Switzerland, but you don't want to spend money in Switzerland. You don't want to spend money in the UK either. That shit's more than the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that you just not gonna learn. You just gotta be there. You gotta fucking go and shit. And so, you know, after so many times we went out there and did it and fucking just put on for ourselves, and we finally got the chance to do that. And hopefully I get the chance to go back this year. I mean, I can go regardless. So either way, I think at the end of the year in the fall we'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Put one down. Yeah.
That's some dope shit.
Yeah, man.
Shit. I've
Yeah.
I think it was in your bio. Getting a little bit into the why. Like there's a few reasons you shared why you rhyme. Like, and I've heard a lot of artists. I mean, I'll share one. I mean, you mentioned that it was like therapy for you. And talk a little bit about. I've heard a lot of artists say that to me.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, fuck, if we're being honest, it's like you know what I mean? Everybody has vices and everybody goes through shit in their life.
Right.
And so if you don't have some kind of a release, like before before rapping, I was playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? So I hoop. And so, but then I'm on the radio, you know what I'm saying? And like, am I really going to make it to the NBA? You know what I'm saying? So shit like that. But, but then when you start to put your shit on wax, like, that's when it starts to come out of you like, oh shit, like I'm really saying some shit. And there's been times where you make a song and you might even be like, I don't know if it's embarrassed is the right word, but kind of like self-conscious about putting it out because you saying some shit about your pops or some shit about your fam and the shit that kind of fucked you up. But to be able to at least have an outlet for that, to put it out there and to kind of wear your heart on your sleeve a little bit with the music, then yeah, then it's going to definitely help you be able to get that out. You know what I'm saying? And kind of speak your truth, if you will, a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Word, word.
Right.
Yo, so
Yeah.
who is Mic Bles as an MC? Like if someone in 50 years, some post-apocalyptic shit happens and whatever, they find they find, you know what I'm saying, you pressed up some vinyl or whatever, somebody found a record player, they find they find a Mic Bles project. What would you, if you could be a ghost looking down on them, what would you want them to get out of that? Like,
As a,
who are you?
as an MC, Mic Bles was the Ox City representative and the motherfucking underground overlord. Planted his black flag, went around, put on, put it down, put the bars up, laid his pillar down, the 5, respect it. That's it, man. Underground overlord. And actually, that's the name of the new project coming out, EP. How to call it Underground Overlords, you know what I'm saying, with Branks. And yeah, man. So yeah, now I feel strong about that. And I feel like if I hadn't done some of the things, you know what I'm saying, if I didn't turn some of those corners that I didn't want to at first, you know what I'm saying, because we all could have, quit. Everyone wants to do a Facebook retirement and shit. It's like, yo, bro, like you don't quit from the culture. You don't like you retiring from. You know what I'm saying? Like I retired from the culture. Like okay, I guess what you know what I'm saying. But if we didn't turn those corners, if I didn't turn those corners to see and to kind of like experience the things that I did, I feel like, you know what I mean, and I might not be able to help everybody out. You know what I'm saying? That I can be just because of the way the game is, like, But if someone comes to me for anything, from anywhere, but from the 5 specifically, like, yo, I got you, dog. Let me know. Ain't that I can help you with? Let me know. And it's whatever, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like minor shit because we don't have it like that. We didn't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? So, things like that. But yeah, man.
Word.
Show.
Yo, so talk a little bit about the project with my man Level 13. So I know him from way back, a few years back too. He's done some shit for my man Spit Gems. He's a ill ass producer. So how'd y'all link up for the most current joint? What's it? Saints with no halos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saints with no halos. Yeah. So I think honestly, I think it was from he might say differently, but I'm pretty sure it was from that Razzcast shit. Like that 2017 like when I got on your radar. I think it was from there. I want to say, and we had talked about, oh, let's do a song, and that's kind of how it happened. But so he had sent me like a year before, like he sent me these beats like maybe a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the fucked up thing was, no lie, and I've said this before, he sent like 2,000 beats, like bruh. Like, no lie. Like, I have songs named 1758, like, meaning 1,758. Like, I remember I was going to L.A., so I got to go to L.A., and I've got to drive back. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm going to listen to these beats, and I'm going to screenshot what I like, and I'm going to get back to them, and I'm going to start working on something. And I went all the way to fucking L.A., came all the way back, went to fucking Walmart, came back, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I haven't haven't finished this shit, and I start going like this. You know when you just hit the scroll like that, and it just goes, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I couldn't get to the end. I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker, like, yo, bro, fuck. So I'm like, and actually, I didn't even fuck with it. I was like, all right, this is too many. I'll get back to this shit. Like, no, it wasn't a diss. It was just like, damn, dog, that's like too much. I need like 4 beats. Yeah, fuck me up.
Yeah,
so I'm like, all right, whatever. So I kind of slept on it. And then one day, finally, I go, yo, I'm going to fucking play these shits. The first one I like, I'm going to write to today, right? And so I just went through it, found one. I'm like, all right, this is it. And then afterwards, I texted him, yo, bro, like, let's do a fucking project because you sent me 2,000 fucking beats. Like, but he didn't say anything. He just sent me 2,000 beats. So we started from there. That's kind of how it started.
He didn't send you 2,000 beats with like just off the, just here you go.
For a song, for one, we said we were going to do a song. He sent me 2,000 beats.
For one, what?
So it's probably, maybe it was implied, but fuck. I'm like, yo, bro, you sent me all these beats. Like, I know you got 5 to spare. Like, let's just do a project. But I didn't say that, but I just said, let's do a project. And he's like, yeah, of course, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think the beauty of it was, like, I would come to him for, like, little things. Like, yo, ask him about something. Like, yo, what do you think about this? And he'd always be like, yeah, good, all good. Yeah, perfect. And I'm like, fuck, okay. Well, I stopped asking, like, yo, fuck it. He gave me the ball, and I'm just doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? So he pretty much just gave me, he trusted me with the fucking beats, you know what I mean? And
what you do?
But yeah, appreciate it though. Either way, much appreciated because God knows you can fuck some shit up. You know what I mean? Or something. But you obviously, but I think no matter how much you might have some dope shit, you're always gonna have that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's healthy to question your shit sometimes. Like, okay. Like I gotta fucking come with it. You know, I got beats that maybe I didn't even use that. I'm like, damn, like I couldn't bring it on that or something. But another thing too, the good thing is like working with one producer, it kind of makes it so you don't have a real choice. Like 2,000 beats is a choice, but they're still all level 13 beats. I'm not gonna go cherry pick over here, then I cherry pick from this producer, then cherry pick from this producer, because I might pick all the shit that I'm gonna pick all the shit that I only like, but I might not pick those other joints that I'm like, well, because he'll be like, oh, what do you think about this or something like that, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't have probably naturally picked it, but I want to do it because I know it's dope and it's gonna be like a challenge to do it. Like, oh, here's a good one. So we did Corner Store, right? And I'm pretty sure Corner Store don't got no drums. And what do you always say about the drums? And I'm like, yo, he didn't post the Corner Store because he probably don't like the drums. And I'm like, bro, and I feel you on that because I'm like, yo, this is that boom bap shit, right? So I knew it was sick. And of course, who did I get to go on the song with me? I was like, oh, this is all O. And then sure enough, I told X about it. He wasn't supposed to be on the original joint, but I was talking to him about it. And he goes, what? Like, it was almost like, bruh, how are you going to have a song? You're not going to send it to me like that. And I'm like, all right, you got it. We'll do 3 verses. Fuck it. And so that's how it ended up happening. But yeah, so I probably naturally wouldn't have did it because, you know, I'm feeling a little bit more boom bap-ish. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more of the boom bappery. But, you know, it's a dope-ass record.
So here's
shout out to...
It's funny that you bring it up. And since you brought it up, we'll address it. So, yeah, you're right. So for me, and I commented on this, I said 3 powerful MCs. So for me, yeah, I personally needed to hear the 3 of you over some more hard-hitting shit. I felt like it showcases your lyricism, which is great. But for me, I wanted to hear a fucking great punchline that was basically a song within a song. I wanted to hear you like fucking get angry with it, and I wanted to hear XP's like smooth but fucking, you know what I'm saying? So, but no. Yeah. But it's funny that you said that, man. I mean, like, you know, so it means you know me. It's all love, though. I still like, I mean, y'all still my peoples, and I still think y'all ate that shit. You know what I mean? Like, y'all did y'all thing. But you know, it's all love. They ain't. But I want to play the joint that couple of joints that part of the joints that I do fuck with. 90%. Heavy on there, and you know, listen. Immortal Auditory is my shit, though, man.
Thanks, man.
That shit,
Thank you, man.
That shit, a smackaroo, man. That's a smackaroo. Like,
Thank you. I was listening to the albums like on Monday night because I run to a homie and he's like, I was listening to this album, I listened to that, and actually I'll make a few calls too. You know what I'm saying? I called Windchill off of Immortal Auditory. I called Windchill and he didn't answer, man. I'm like, I haven't seen him in a while. And I'm like, what's Windchill doing, man? Like, yo, you killed this. I'm just listening to music and reaching out to cats. I think I even called Mark Ford. I'm like, yo, what's up, dog? I gotta give you just random calls out the blue,
right.
Listening to music. What's up? You know what I'm saying? But thank you, man, because that definitely is one of my favorites. And I wanted to make a statement with that one as far as like lyrics wise, so I can go do some other stuff. And not necessarily have to feel like I didn't prove anything on that shit. You know what I mean? So
listen, that shit is fire. We're gonna play this one, right? Part of this one, I can't play a lot because IG fucks with me heavy. This Chronicles of Death, Mic Bles, level 13.
Yeah, spitting volatile. Imposters are no obstacles, the chronicles of death like these cameras up in the hospital. Spoken words from the pain out the abdominal. I dropped the record and rappers are calling audibles. My kindness never weakness, I speak this, I'm only half as nice. Twice the animal, the microphones, but never half the price. Last to find a warning, Pennsylvania to California, no trigger warning. Distorted, but scribe picture recordings. I'm ending them, clock is ticking on pendulums. Fraudulent artisans and artificial intelligence. Coded in the messages. This poison in my commas, piranhas in the streets and the drama, double entendres. They don't know how bullets really, I never needed them. Egos are helium, oxygen, agony, ingredient. Squeeze the juice out, I'm bleeding the intermediate. Immediately grieving, this isn't for social media.
I don't make sure I don't fucking, they come with that copyright shit quick. Like,
yeah,
they be coming with it quick. Fucking, but level 13 is dope, and you're dope, and check this project out. Check out Immortal Auditory. That's fucking, there's some heaters on that. We're gonna play a little bit of the fucking this one right here. This one shit you real quick. Mic Bles, Oxnard, Kel. I just turned it off like a fucking asshole. So that weed, man, fucking weed.
Yo, it's the hardball lieutenant. This is spit magnified, beautify like statues and crawlers, but I symbolize evidently operative native. That's how I operated. Fabricated rappers that hated it, we eliminated. Venomous and deadly activate. Attack elaborate. That path in the waters of hell from holy Catholics. Euthanize you, petrify your black Medusa yada. Direct talking your medulla oblongata. Yada, yo, my diamonds, phenomenal raw drama. Son, beautiful with the boss, father than the Andromeda. Language of the arts, I'm sharper speaking in tongues. I've been looking on the microphone, you will know where I'm coming from.
Big up Boo the Prince. I fucking San Diego.
Peace.
San Diego Zoo. That's my man.
Yeah. I see Mark's in here. I seen my boy fucking Source. I seen O in here.
Yeah, big up the fucking
shout out to Merge.
Salute to everybody on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? This has been a good one for me because I just feel like I really wanted to hear more just of your story because I hear the bars. I'm like, okay, it can rhyme, like, but this was important for me because then I get to dig in a little bit, force me to dig in a little bit more to the music and to, just see what you're about. That shit's important to me. So, what's next for you, man? Like, what's the goal in the game for you? I guess what's the end game? Because some people are like, yo, I got a dope 9 to 5. I just do this because I love it, and I put out an album every 6 years or 3 years. I don't give a fuck. Some people are like, yo, I'm gonna take over the motherfucking world. Anybody fucking with me? Where are you? Where are you with that shit?
Yeah. I feel like we're still releasing dope ass shit, quality shit, ill shit. So I want to continue to do that. I don't think I'm not doing every fucking interview. I'm not out here doing none of that type of shit. So like, I really want to just focus on the music and put out dope projects. You know what I'm saying? And whether or not, I'm not looking past like this year though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, oh, I got like, I want to hit the tour at the end of the year. I got a couple projects in the lineup. Just be consistent with what I'm putting out. And if I do put something out, you know, I want to make sure it's fresh. And just so happened this year, we came out bombing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming out like, oh, this year is going to be fucking me bombing, but it just so happened that I'm bombing. So, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's just about making dope records, I think, right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not you know, I know if I do what I need to be doing as far as putting out the dope content, dope joints, then the rest will just kind of fall where it needs to fall. You know what I'm saying? But me and Level hitting the biggest numbers we've ever hit. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just crazy with the I think with longevity and with time put in, some of those spoils come back. You know what I'm saying? Like some of that love comes back if you put in the time in the game. You feel me?
I feel you. I feel you. I mean, I completely understand what you're saying, and you said something really powerful in your bio video, talking about the journey being like really important here. Like, and it resonated with me so much because, like, for me, just me doing what I'm doing, it was just a joke. I started it, and it's like, I don't know where it's going, but it's like, I'm on the ride. Let's rock and let's do this shit. And it's like, it's about like the bumps and bruises and the, you know, so. Talk a little bit about that, because that really resonated with me when you were just talking about, like, just, you know, that being kind of more your focus.
Yeah, I feel like, and to give you your props too, man, like I said, I'm not out here trying to do everything and anything anymore, but to be asked to do Carrying the Culture, you know what I'm saying? I know I could have asked you, you know what I'm saying, and we could have made it happen because of our rapport, but I feel like to be asked was definitely an honor, especially to see, like you said, from when you started it, and last week we was on there with the Jizza, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like real stories, real.
Inspector Deck.
Oh my bad, Inspector Deck. Correction. And he's dropping gems that I never heard on any interview.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I was looking it up on the YouTubes and shit, like, yo, I never even heard that story, right? So you came a long way, and it's on right now. So, but to speak about it too, it's like, yeah, I feel like,
appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. There's times I feel like when, you know, we've been on the grind with certain cats are fucking with us, or you know, along the ride, and I feel like people forget, you know what I'm saying? You forget that what you got in it for, or you might be upset because we're out here and it might not be what you thought it was, or whatever the fucking case may be. But I mean, the whole shit for me was just, I mean, how many times that the time I went to New York the first time, that might be the last time I'm there.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? And so I stayed in Penn Station in the fucking, in the station. I slept on my backpack. And I fucking, so here's what we did in New York. Okay, so here, let me tell you this. Talk about the journey. But to me, I could tell the story, and it's ill to me, right? So I went to New York. I was there for like 2-3 days, and we didn't get one hotel. The first time I went there. So I get there Friday night, right? Manhattan. We're like, all right, cool. The bar's closed here at 4. The fucking bus leaves at 8. Perfect. So we go to the bar. We go to a couple bars. We go to one bar. We beat it down till 4 in the morning. We go fucking to Penn Station. Sleep on my bag. Charging my phone like this. Boop. In the bottom of the Penn Station, right? With the bus, I fucking wake up like next to the line like an asshole. Like, oh, fuck. I'm on blast right here. Yeah, like we were like, oh, shit. So we get our shit together. Go on the bus. I changed literally at one of the bus rest stops, and then I fucking get to this fucking event. We were going to do the show with the Grind Mode Cypher. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Grind Mode Cypher, my bros. We do the whole show, the Cypher, and the show. I have a radio show that night at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, right, with DJ NUT.
Big up, Big D.
In update.
That's, yeah,
so
there we go.
I fucking get a ride from one of the Grind Mode dudes. Didn't plan on it. I just say, hey, bro, who could I send? Who could I give $20 to right now? It's going to take me, because we all got to go back. So he takes me to a bar because we need a place to fucking land. So now we're on Saturday. Now it's Saturday morning. We go do NUT show. NUT drops me back at the train station. The train don't get there till 6. We're there like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. But freezing our ass off. We finally get in the train. So that was Friday to Saturday. Now it's Sunday. So now we land again back in New York City, fucking 8 a.m. on Sunday. And we go to Chevy's right there on fucking Manhattan. And we plug all our shit in. We opened that place up. They're like, yo, we can't let you guys in. We're like, yo, come on. And they're like, all right, cool. Let us in. Boom, boom, boom. We walk the Brooklyn Bridge. We go sightseeing, eat some pizza. I was on a flight that night going home, New York. We did it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was crazy, but it was dope at the same time. And how far are you willing to fucking go? I don't know nobody in Europe, but you guess what? Now I know folks. Now I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yo, that's what it's all about, man. And it's about that hunger and it's about that love. And that's, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, because all this helps me out. Like, again, I wanted to get to know you better, and I feel like I got to do that, and that was important. I know you can spit, you know what I mean? But I wanted to, you know, like, I want to hear about this. Like, yo, what's up with this 805 shit?
Yeah.
Body Bag.
Yeah.
That's my man, Body Bag Ben.
Yeah, shout out.
Repping that 805. So, like, I wanted to hear about that shit. So, we got to pull on out of here. I got D Styles from Beat Nuts, Invisible Scratch Pickles, with a man Save the Hip Hop Culture in 3 minutes for the after party. This has been Mic Bles, episode 112 of the Carrying Culture Show. Yo, thanks, man. I appreciate your family. I really do, man. For sharing this stuff.
No,
so
thanks for having me, brother. You already know. One love.
Yeah, no. So anything you need. I mean, so now it's like for me, it's like
and I wanted to get with you when you were in LA. I wanted to get with you. I have a 4-year-old, so at the time he was probably like 2, so I couldn't work the angles, but it's all love. Next time you come in, hopefully we can link. I know you linked with X the last time.
Yo, I'm trying to come out for Rhyme Fest. So
that would be sick. That would be sick. I'll see you at Rhyme Fest then.
I might be out there for Rhyme Fest if the stars are aligned. So thanks, man.
All right.
And yo, so we stay locked in, man.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.
Peace, y'all.
Salute everybody joining.